Welcome to the Arizona Pickleball League podcast, presented by Jigsaw Health. And now, your hosts, Danny Jensen and the Orchard Security Guy.
What is up, Arizona Pickleball family? This is not Danny Jensen, the chosen one. This is Patrick Jr. I chose Danny, and I guess that's why he calls himself the chosen one. But he's not able to make it today, so I will be sitting in for him as the guest host. I'm here with the OSG. OSG, how you feeling today?
Really good, really good. I do have some breaking news. You may not even know this. I just got back from the Jigsaw World Headquarters, and I had a meeting with the commissioner, and Danny, we had our first kind of suspension, if you want to call it that. Yeah, so I'm still getting details through my headset right now, so if I pause for a second, it's still the commissioner filling me in. I'll give you what I know so far. We found, for some weird reason, there's like a chip in his microphone.
Really?
Yeah, like in the foam part.
A chip?
Everyone checked it out. We went through all the stuff, and we found a chip.
A Dorito or a Frito?
It kind of is a little like the triangle of the Dorito.
Okay.
That was that small.
Wow.
Yeah. And he tracked it back. It was found in a German-French group that was from Munich.
Get out of here.
Yes.
We're being spied on at the Orchard?
Well, it was a band that was called Milli Vanilli.
Yes.
Have you heard of them?
Remember them.
So, as far as what... Okay, commissioners. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
As far as what I know, it's just going to be a one podcast suspension, but it is still under review.
Okay.
I don't know a whole lot about the Milli Vanilli situation, but I guess they were maybe microphones that made special sounds for them.
I believe they, and I think they might have been sponsored by Frito-Lay back in the day.
Okay. So that's an ongoing investigation. It's like we like to be transparent about all our activities here, so I just wanted to let you know that that's where we're at with that right now.
So for those of you that are listening to the podcast, you don't get the benefit of seeing that we have OSG's two security dogs here with us, Monk and Lola. Were they involved in this investigation at all?
Well, they were in the building, yes. But as far as since the microphones were up on the table, they were not able to get up there to sniff, and they are trained to detect those type of things.
Okay.
And so from here on out, we're going to let them go where they need to go to find possible things that we need to find.
Have you considered building special stairs for them?
Yes, like those little walk-up ones that they have for the beds. Yes. They have an unbelievable vertical jump. They had to have that vertical jump to even qualify to be part of Orchard Security Team. So we may not need those except for some of the times we want them up by the cameras. And so we may need that to kind of boost them up there.
That sounds like you've got that really under control.
Yes, yeah.
Good. Well, it is a pleasure to have Monk and Lola with us. And Monk happens to be securing the lap of the GM of the Peoria Pythons, Amy Ricciardi. How are you today?
I'm good. Especially better that I have security dog securing me.
Now, you probably feel secure 24/7, would you say?
Pretty much.
And why is that?
Because I have my own security guard 24/7.
Wow, that's fantastic. Is he a pretty good looking guy?
Very.
on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you say he is with just sort of overall gentlemanliness?
Oh, at least a 12.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good. That's nice to know. Have you met her security guard?
I have not met him before. I've not met him.
Haven't crossed
I
paths?
have not crossed paths with him before.
Okay. Well, curious.
Sounds like a wonderful guy.
He is.
Well, Amy, your team, the Peoria Pythons, are facing off tomorrow night here at the Orchard, Tuesday night pickleball versus the Scottsdale Scorchers. Now, the Scottsdale Scorchers had they played in our preseason game against the Tempe Tornadoes, so they have a little bit of experience playing in this environment. How do you feel like your Pythons are going to show up tomorrow?
I do not feel nervous at all. I feel like the Pythons are solid. And they are going to show up and show out.
Care to elaborate on how they're going to show out?
Show out everybody
Okay.
in their play,
Yes.
their sportsmanship, and their style, which is very important.
Yeah, for sure. Now, has the team been practicing?
Quite a bit. Not always together, but our men practice, our ladies practice. We've also had a few practices where we've had some subs fill in.
Okay.
But they have a solid group chat.
Tell us about that. What's going on in the group chat, the Python chat?
Yeah. Very great camaraderie. Michael Lloyd, he was actually just in Austin playing for the PPA. He won.
He did.
The fill-in for the fill-in. What do they call that?
Oh, the play-in bracket.
play-in.
Okay, good. Great.
Yeah, he
Good for
won
Michael
that.
Lloyd. Shout out, Michael Lloyd. Good job, brother.
For mixed. And then him and Nico, who is on the Stingers, also played in the men's, and they are so good they didn't have to play in.
Okay, so they just made it automatically into the pro draw.
Yes.
Awesome. Do you remember what were they seated?
That's a good question. I don't recall.
Hold on, maybe we can get security to call that one up.
I'm on that. Yes.
Okay.
Can we get the seating on the last tournament in? Okay. They're going to get back to me on that.
Okay. So they played well.
Yeah, played great.
That's good. That's kind of interesting that in the Arizona Pickleball League, we have people who are competitors playing as teammates for other tournaments. The PPA Austin Showdown, the Onyx Austin Showdown, powered by Invited.
Well,
Hashtag not a sponsor for Invited, but Onyx is the official ball of the Orchard. Shout out to the DuraFast 40.
yeah, and what's interesting about that, Patrick, that you bring it up, is they play for us, but they're allowed to play for any other company, tournament, because we want our people to be successful.
That's right. On this planet and beyond.
Yes, exactly. So they did great, and our group chat, going back to that, all about the love. Let's go, Michael. Good job. Send us photos. It's awesome. And that's how kind of even seeing last weekend, watching Craig and Kyle play, while not on our team or my team.
At the PPA tournament, they made it to center stage playing against the Johns brothers.
Awesome to watch. And everybody here is cheering for them.
That's great.
And our group chats and sending them messages. So it's just, this league is amazing as a league and as a, just local camaraderie in general.
That's cool. I want to get into the ethos of the league. On ArizonaPBL.com, we posted a document that's called the, quote, Rules of the Road, and we'll get into that. But I want to talk a little bit more about this game tomorrow night. So Peoria Pythons, I think, in fact, let's rewind.
Ooh.
That wasn't a sound effect, anybody. That's just me. I was inspired by the... come on, help me out with the movie reference. not the cops, the guy that like could do all the sound
Police
effects.
Academy.
Police Academy. Thank you, Jamie. our very
That was
own Cam
RJ.
Jamie.
What was that?
Police
Wasn't that-
Academy, where he could do all the sound effects.
Oh, that's-
So as we rewind back to last week, I think watching from the DJ Pickle booth that the Tempe Tornadoes were at a distinct advantage having played in the Orchard before. The Surprise Stingers came out a little nervous. In fact, they talked about it, all of them. And what I told to them post-game was, look, guys, the Orchard is a difficult place to play. There's a sold-out crowd. We turn down the lights. We fill up the room with smoke. The light show's going, the bass is thumping, and then DJ Pickle is screaming out your name and fire shooting up from behind you, and the crowd is going crazy. And then you walk out onto the court and you hear the most beautiful version of the national anthem with the red, white, and blue lights down on the court. And then it's 0-0-2 basically, and you got to hit a third shot drop. I think Cooper Fratt, his third shot drop didn't even make it to the net. Now, this is a guy that played tennis, D1 Gonzaga, and has probably never hit a ball that didn't make it to the net. Cooper, all the guys, guys and girls, said, holy cow, that was so much fun. Mm-hmm. And they also got blown out. We're going to talk about that a little bit today in our podcast. But how do you think how are you preparing the Pythons to be ready to play in that environment? Because the Scorchers have that same opportunity, or they have that same experience. They know what it's like to have fire shooting up behind them.
Yeah. Well, all of my, it is a different environment, but my team has been in environments, obviously not the same as the Orchard, but where lots of people are around watching them. We have Takako. She's won senior pro events. Mm-hmm. We have Ryan Treffy. He runs, Bellbank Park, plays for a lot of exhibitions down there. The confidence level in Treff is amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Same with Takako, Michael Lloyd. He's just, God, if there isn't he's one of the nicest guys that I've met in recent, and I did not know him at all before
That's
this.
awesome.
Just a very genuine, sweet guy. I can't imagine nerves getting to him, but we will see. And then Jess, she's just a ball of energy, and she can be very stoic, but she plays great with Michael, and that is who's going to be pairing up. And she looks amazing because she's got great style. And
Great.
I'm not nervous about it, but I kind of wasn't nervous about the Stingers either, and they were nervous. And each team that has come into the Orchard for the first time, let's not forget the Scorchers and the Tornadoes, the first time they played here, were a ball of nerves.
We're in a ball of nerves too.
Yeah.
That's right. And Dana, who looked a little shaky in that preseason game, ended up becoming the MVP of week one. OSG, is there anything that you think the team could do to prepare for their nerves?
Yes. But back to the Dana topic. She's the MVP last Tuesday night. If you didn't catch the show or you haven't watched it yet, she had a signature move, so to speak, after she would hit maybe a long rally or hit a really awesome winner. What do the Pythons have, or do we not? Can you not share it? Have you guys came up with some kind of a signature move that may happen Tuesday?
I have come up with a signature move in my head. I've discussed it over the group text, but I have not shown it to them yet. Wow. I'm hoping they will be on board with it, though, and you guys are going to like it.
Can you reveal?
Is that something? Yeah.
Can you reveal to the Arizona Pickleball audience what that might be?
I mean, I can. Do you think I should reveal that now?
Is it safe?
That's the other thing I'm wondering is, I mean, Dana's was pretty safe. She came to me before the match, and made sure that, is this going to be okay for the facility?
Yeah.
So I
You want
kind
to
of
see
think
it?
we should probably debut it right here.
Okay. Now listen, it might not be perfect. I'll show you what it is, and you can give me any feedback.
Okay. Ooh. Okay, for the folks that are just listening to this podcast,
thank
what
you.
Amy did is she took her right arm,
It was
held
the right.
it up
Yep.
at the elbow. She cocked it at, I would say, is this a 110-degree angle?
That's
110, give or take?
110.
And then she took her hand with her fingers and just extended them out. So if you can picture a python, then
Striking.
she just struck.
Yes.
Now,
Is the distance of the strike, is that determined, or
it's just like a 2-inch. I mean, and what I've been
2-inch strike?
A 2-inch, and what I've been told is no wrist.
Oh.
It's important.
Do you
Do you agree with the no wrist?
I kind of like I don't want it to just maybe not be because if you extend the wrist, I'm worried that an injury.
True.
So if you keep
wrist.
that locked and just kind of give it a,
And it
like
looks
a
it looks
strike.
like a python snake head.
Well, let's talk about the ethos of the Arizona Pickleball League a little bit. As I mentioned, there's a rules of the road document on ArizonaPBL.com, which, by the way, folks, you can buy tickets for tomorrow night's event for Tuesday Night Pickleball. You can come out and see Amy's team. You can visit ArizonaPBL.com. And the very first part of that is Section 1, the ethos. Rule number 1, compete with dignity. Rule number 2, put on a good show. Rule number 3, see rule number 1. The second section expounds upon that. It's called What Matters. Integrity, skill, and showmanship, all of them in that order. This is a, quote, meritocracy. As the founders of the league, myself, Patrick, and Ashley, my wife, care as much about season 1 as we care about getting to season 20. So we practice the, quote, no a-hole rule. And see Dr. Sutton's book for an explanation on that, although I think the title kind of explains itself. Amy, I kind of want to put somebody on blast right now, and I'm not going to call them out by name, but there was a certain player I learned. I'm sorry, not a player. This person does play pickleball, but they are not a player in the league. And they were invited by another player. And my understanding of the story is that this person came up and began to do... Well, Amy, what's your recollection here? Because for those that don't know, when Amy's not the GM of the Peoria Pythons, she also helps out here at the Jigsaw Pickleball Orchard with guest services and making sure that people are getting food, getting drinks, getting checked in, basically making sure that the customer experience is awesome, because that is what we're trying to build here. And again, the tagline of the Arizona Pickleball League is, let us entertain you. So Amy, what happened?
Well, I would equate it more to, I guess, bullying a little bit, of demanding of entry.
And what did this person demand specifically?
To get others into the, I guess, the show that was happening last Tuesday.
Yeah. And just
a lot of others.
help me understand, how many others?
Maybe there was 7.
Okay, 7. And correct me if I'm wrong, but we had a sold out crowd. We had about 150 people in here, correct? We, in fact, had people paying for standing room.
Yeah.
And our drinks, correct me, and our tickets, correct me if I'm wrong, they include food, all you can eat, and drink tickets. So the people that paid for standing room, this person was asking for how many people to get in for free?
I think it was 7.
And tell me, did that person pay to get into Tuesday Night Pickleball?
Potentially someone paid for them.
Okay, somebody paid their way.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this person by now knows who we are talking about. And he fits into the no a-hole rule. So this person, should they choose to come back, will give apologies to all the staff that was here and will act like a gentleman while they're on the premises. Otherwise, OSG, what are we going to do?
We'll probably remove from the premise.
One thing that I want to note too is we had 150 people in here, which is about the max. When you look around, you're like, oh, well, it seems like there's a little space. But for those 20 plus people that are standing room only, that paid to do standing room only, the more you let in, they can't see. And
Correct.
I was one of those standing room because I work here. I didn't get to watch much of the match because I can't see, and I'm not going to step in front of someone. So
and you had to go find more barbecue sauce.
I did. But so letting extra people in isn't about them in general, even if they would pay. It's also about the people we have here that we want to make their experience the best as possible.
Exactly. There's a rule named after you. I won't say what the name of the rule is. Let's move on. You guys brought up, and you've been thinking about, because in week 1 we did have a blowout, and I said to the team at the end of the match, guys, I know that you were worried about the fact that there was a blowout. I don't know if you've watched any pro sports before, but that happens. And I absolutely refuse to fabricate an outcome. As I've talked about in the past, rally scoring for MLP is a fabricated ending, and it affects the standings of the teams because it affects the points differential. One team gets stuck at 20. They freeze at 20, and then the other team gets to keep scoring points if the other team hits a third into the net. It's just not a good system. And I love studying psychology and incentive-based systems. So we did, however, you came up with an idea for allowing the GM to sub a player from the bench to the court. If a player is, Susie, I love you, from the DJ Pickle booth, you looked so anxious, and I felt so freaking bad for you. My heart was going out to you because in that second quarter, you just weren't yourself. You know that you are better than how you played. I know that you're better than how you played. And I know that when you come back in week, which would that be, week 4 against the Gilbert Gladiators, you're going to play your A off. I know you're going to play better. You beat me most of the time on the court. I've been body bagged by you 5 times. But in that moment, my heart went out to you. And I think that also Nico started to try and overcompensate and then ended up creating unforced errors. And I feel like that was a lesson for life. That happens on the court. And so who wants to talk about the idea, the sub? OSG, do you want to cover this one?
I'll cover this one. And by the way, I just want to mention, those of you that can't see at home, even though these dogs sometimes close their eyes and go to a place far, far away, they are on high alert. Their ears are up. They're listening for all kinds of different things. And it may fool you, but again, like I said last week, these dogs have been trained by some of the most elite and the pedigree is just unbelievable. So, having said that, when I watch sports, a lot of times individual will struggle at a certain point in basketball or football. A general manager or coach will have them come to the sidelines and sub them out to give them a breather, reset.
Get your head right.
Yep. Take a breath. Happened to me at Chuck E. Cheese one time. I mean, it just happens. You miss a couple things, and they subbed me out for another guy when I was in training, and I got back, able to sit back and look at some of the things that I was missing.
Did you watch the security tape back?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. And put me back in and didn't miss them again.
Yeah.
So I think that might be a good idea for a general manager to be able to have that option of in mixed doubles to possibly sub the guy or the girl and give them a break.
Now, why just mixed doubles?
Well, in the men's, in the women's,
You only got 2 men's and 2 women's.
yes.
So no subs available. But in the mixed, what might be the stipulation for when a general manager could sub? I believe you were.
So I
Had
think
an
the
idea.
stipulation is possibly a score of maybe 7 or more. The option of a general manager to call timeout and talk about it with the team and see what they want to decide to do to get back into the game or get the score a little bit closer.
Yeah, maybe change the momentum. Change it up a little bit.
Let's say that a sub had been made, and let's use the example of Susie. Let's say that the moment was just overwhelming her and she needed to reset her head. Would Sarah Ash coming back in, playing with Nico, I wonder if that would have made a difference. Would they have started to claw back? I mean, it's theoretical, but it's a good theoretical to discuss. And
It absolutely could have. A timeout can change the momentum of
It
the
sure
game.
can.
So also, the way we score, which I love, it doesn't stop. So at 11.
yeah, right.
So it could absolutely change the momentum. And then it could possibly change the momentum of the ladies' game because
Yeah.
you're not coming in defeated.
That's true, because in the third quarter, women's doubles, Dana Rogest came out like a beast. And she was carrying over momentum from the second quarter.
Yes.
And Susie was carrying over negative momentum from the second quarter. So let's...
And when we still have all players playing their heart out.
Yes, exactly.
So we are not we're not changing or fabricating anything. We're subbing. Yes. Right? Hand raised by OSG.
Oh, wait, who's hosting? Amy just started hosting the show.
Sorry.
We knew this was going to happen,
Yes.
which is why we
I've
said
been controlling
30
myself.
30 minutes ago, we said, Amy, we are going to have to use the hand rule.
Okay, I'm done.
Like the team sports, just like we have the quarters. It may reset the team for a positive run or get them back and close in the game, and then possibly even if that transitions into the ladies' game, rested, reset. You never know.
So, as the creator of the league, I feel I have a certain amount of authority, otherwise known as pretty much anything Ashley will let me do. But she's not here right now, so I feel like I want to. No,
Oh, wasn't this when I was supposed to jump in?
no.
When you said she wasn't here and I was supposed to stop you?
That's true. Oh, God. 30 minutes ago, before we were
Oh.
starting, I said, Amy, if I start to say something crazy and I say, because Ashley is not here right now, you have to jump in and stop me from whatever I'm about to say. But that moment passed.
Yeah, this sounds
I already
okay.
got over the
Okay.
whole putting somebody on blast
Yeah.
part. That was when I thought you might need to stop me.
was trying.
No, I practice a rule of sleeping on it. I like to let my subconscious roll around with the idea in my head. I just heard about this idea from you guys an hour ago when we started talking about it. I like what we're talking about here. I think for fairness, we need to discuss it with the other general managers and consider if we make it a part of the league going forward. I would say that one of the challenges is that the Surprise Stingers in week 1 did not have that opportunity, so that puts them at a slight disadvantage. So to make up for it, probably what we need to let them do is each of them will get to hold Monk in their lap for 30 minutes.
Approved.
Approved.
Motion only approved when Ashley says it's okay. Hi, honey. Are you watching us? I don't know. She's not here today. Maybe she is. Okay. Any more points on that, or should we move on?
I like it. That's good.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Sleep on it.
Okay. OSJ, were there any like security technique changes that you had to sleep on?
Yes, there was this was a tough one when I was at the museum, Butterfly Museum.
Mm-hmm.
There were some changes that we had to do with the doors and making sure we had one door, and then there was another one that was kind of the safety zone door, but it wouldn't latch perfect. You almost had to push it in to latch it. And so a lot of times when customers would leave, it wouldn't securely fasten. So there was that little bit of area where if that first door was opened up a little too long, out they went.
Oh, no.
Yeah, out they went.
What, how many escaped?
Well, I believe on my watch, just the 3, I believe I mentioned on the first podcast, 2 Monarchs and the 1 purple. And the purple, that's a tough one.
So, Amy, tomorrow night, Peoria Pythons calling out their name, making the grand entrance, feeling those feelings. What are you going to tell to them right before 002, after the national anthem has been played, after the rules scored? What are you going to do? What are the inspiring words that you're going to tell them?
Take no prisoners.
Okay. And then do the...
And then the Python strike. No. Something else.
OSG?
Yeah.
Let them burn.
I'm sorry. He raised Ami.
Oh, sorry.
He did raise his hand. OSG, you have the floor.
That was like 8 inches.
Oh.
So
That was an 8-inch strike.
that, I'm worried on the elbow.
The UCL.
That's why we're trying to just do the 2.
Sorry.
Listen,
I understand.
players
And-
in the Arizona Pickleball League, this is keep your elbows real safe. We need to really be protecting that UCL joint. I don't care if it's a tornado. I don't care if it's a strike. I don't care if it's a gladiator tomahawk chop. And I don't actually know what they're going to do yet, but I imagine it's going to be something that looks like a sword.
I'm just kind of thinking in my head right now, should we do a secure, like,
Bracing?
bracing of the elbow just to...
They could. Yeah, they could. I mean, I feel like they have to feel their own strike.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're coming for those Scorchers. I think it's going to be a good match. I hope it's going to be a good match. They're a strong team.
Do you know what your first quarter and second quarter lineups are going to be yet?
I don't know the quarters, who's going first and who's going second, but I do know the lineup. So we are going to have Treff and Takako
Okay.
against Caden and Michelle.
Okay.
And then Michael and Jess will go against Haley and Pessa.
Okay.
But I just
Wow.
I don't know what order. Are we going first?
First or second?
Yeah. I feel confident. The girls have to play back to back in that second to third. And I've talked with both Jess and Takako, and both are their Energizer bunnies. So I'm not concerned about that they want to take a break. Both of them are are good. I feel like maybe it'll be Treff and Jess
Okay.
against Caden and Michelle first. But
Set the stage.
Or wait, sorry. Treff and Jess. No, sorry. Treff and Takako against
Yeah.
Caden and Michelle. I got to talk to Brad.
Okay. Brad Dohanick, the general manager of the Scottsdale Scorchers.
Yeah.
So let me, for the Arizona Pickleball family that's listening and they're saying, wait, why aren't you like using a hidden strategy? Why are you actually talking about that? Well, that's part of the rules of the road that we decided upon. I'll read from section 9, setting mixed doubles lineups, aka co-opetition. Prior to each match, the GMs and or team captain will collectively agree upon the, quote, most suitable lineups for mixed doubles in quarters 1 and 2. If there is a dispute, the commissioner will make the final decision. OSG, have you had to make any decisions yet?
Not to this point, no.
Are you prepared?
There are some things on the table that I am ready to possibly make a decision on, but as of right now, we're...
So no disputes on the lineup yet?
Nothing yet, no.
Good. So back to the document. In the second paragraph, it then says, the goal for both teams is to field an, quote, intriguing and, quote, fair matchup that the fans will enjoy. This is, quote, co-opetition. After all, the slogan of the Arizona Pickleball League is, let us entertain you. So, OSG, why don't you lull them to sleep?
As we were talking earlier about communication, getting all these players together, communication is super important on the court. For instance, maybe the person on the left side, mine, yours, get it. You know, some of those verbal communications, but some of the other ones that you may not understand and you see players do, particularly at the net, returning or the serve. Sometimes they'll put a fist behind their back. And that means, I got this. Stay where you're at. And other times they'll put a hand out full, like a 5. And that means, let's give them a little eye candy here. Switch it up. You go on the other side after you return it. And finally, the last one is the middle finger. And when you see that, somebody about to get it. Until the next episode.